Hello everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day. I have here another little kit. This one is flowers, and the kit is just kind of a bunch of fun little things. So we're going to go through the kit and I'll kind of explain some parts of it. So what we have here, we have this package of flower petals, and these are to make a big flower. And some of them have more than one of these, some have just one. They're all different. They all have about the same amount of stuff, just in different ones. A lot of these are cut with the Sizzix dies, and so I do have how to do those from the dies, and here's from the other dies. So there'll be quite an assortment. And then I went on YouTube with the help of some friends, and I have a whole bunch of different flower videos for you to watch, and I'm sure that you can come up with the perfect inspiration for all the flowers that's in here. Okay, so in here we have a glassine envelope or bag, so you can use it too. And some of them will have these, and these roll into a flower like this. And some have fences, and I'm just going to kind of take this out carefully. You've got some with leaves. You've got some that that are like this in a folded piece of wax paper. That's like one set, and they will make like this. There's 3 layers here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And there's some that are like this. It's actually 3 pieces folded around it to keep it in place. They're the Tim Holtz raggedy flowers, and I believe there's 3 or 4 layers there. They were cut for us as a donation and packaged this way, so that's how they went out. There's some littler flowers in different sizes, and there are some that are paper clipped together. These are tissue paper and all kinds of different papers. There's some leaves. There's some little I think these were supposed to be some kind of flower, that lilacs or something, maybe, where they all just kind of cluster on a stem. There's the rolling roses. I know they have another name, but I call them the rolling roses because you roll these up and you make a rose out of them. Some of them might have little odds and ends like that vase. So they all have a bunch of different die cut flowers and fun things to work with. I'm going to slip these over to the side for just a minute. And then we have, this one had 2 packages of these. And then you have in here this piece of foam, this metal stick, which this was an amazing find. We needed it for this end, but this is a multi-use tool as far as I'm concerned. I love it when my tools have more than one use. So this one you can use for the flower petals, as I'm going to show you. And then this one, I use this when I'm down to the end of my glue stick and I scrape it out, and then I can use it as a spatula also. And then you have some stamens to put in some of your flowers if you want. Quite a nice assortment. You have this little bag right here, which is like, okay, what is this? This is weird stuff. Jean, what were you thinking? So I'll just tell you what I was thinking. I'll open this up. This has got toothpicks. These are your fancy schmancy tools. You use these to roll your flowers up when you're, like those purple ones I showed you. You can use that to roll it, or your roses. There's an assortment of brads, and I just had this big bowl of brad, so who knows what kind of centers your flowers are going to get. And then most of the kits had these. I don't know if I ran out or not. I'm thinking maybe I did. My thoughts on these were you could take this and a really cool flower, and there you've got this cute little pick. You could use it in a cupcake. If you've got a cloth journal where it's got some lace, and you could weave this in and out of your lace on the front of your journal, I thought this would be cute. I just think there's a lot of fun things you could do with these, and the flowers just seem to holler for the flowers. So I have right here also several of the flowers that came with all of these donations in put together. This is the maps and the Tim Holtz Raggedy, or I don't know, I think that's what it is, Raggedy Flowers. That's what this one is. And this is just a book page, and it's been it's the other side, you know, this side's the book page and this side was blank, so it looks really cool. These are the yellow daisies, and there's some here to do something with. Also, in some of the daisies were done with the yellow glassine, so you get some real fun raggedy flowers. They're not going to be raggedy like this at first, but the more they're loved. I think these would be so cool to be inked a little on the edges, or just splotchy, maybe sprayed, and that really cool look. So this is a card made with the same daisies. It goes like that, and then it's got the wrought iron fence in there, and I thought that was cute. I love this one. This is probably my favorite. Maybe it's because it's kind of orange. This one is done on a magazine page, and then it's painted on this side, and I think that's really cool. Here's a daisy completely done. It's been shaped, and here's just one part of one that's been shaped. And then this one is again the raggedy flowers, but it's done in a white tissue paper, and I think it just looks gorgeous. I think this would be good sprayed or inked or something too. So that is some of the flowers that are in the kit. Here's another one. This was done with maps. There's some of the rolled flowers right there. And we're going to sit real quick here and take one set of these so that I can show you how my fancy little favorite tool is. I really do use this little tool a lot myself. So when you're making these flowers and you want them to be a little more dimensional, that's what the foam pad is for. It gives you that little bit of foam. You can take this and rub that in there, and then you've got some dimension in your flowers. I don't know if you can tell that real well. So we're going to do that to all of them. And the one finished flower, this one was rolled like that, but there was one in here, this one, that it had creases, more like a crease in it to make it curve. Well, you could do that with this side. It's kind of small to get a grip on here. So you could kind of put a crease there, or you could go ahead and curve it like you want, and then put your crease in it, and then kind of help it along. But I pretty much like this part. And it seems to get a better curl if you start here and come in. And rather than go here and go out, it still stays kind of flat. And of course the bigger petals are going to do different things. They're all going to do different things, but this tool is really handy. You could also use this if you were doing dot painting and you wanted a bigger dot. Even though it's a great big, I'm not real sure how big the dot would be. So we got one layer. And I'm going to go ahead and I keep forgetting that I want to go from the outside in. I think we all get in the habit of things and forget. So not only did this have the flower kit and all the flower cutouts, it's also got all the tools you need. Or at least enough tools to get you started. Okay, so we're going to take this other handy tool, the toothpick. We're going to poke those centers out. So we did that. We've got these three and we've got them curved. Now, I'm going to show you a quick thing we can do. I just thought of this. I don't actually have it right handy, so just give me a second to find it. Okay, I found what I was looking for. And I'm going to use this. So, let's say that you are all out of brads. How do you put this together? What can you do? Well, first of all, you could take some of the stamens. I'm going to get like a couple of black ones. I'm going to get 3. And you could, these are on thread. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little piece of wire. And got my big heavy duty cutters. I don't need them, but that's what was close. And we're going to take a bead. And I chose black, so I'd like a dark bead. But I'm not 100% sure I'm going to find one in the mix that I grabbed. Oh, that one will work. So I found this sparkly bead. Any bead will work. And I'm going to make this almost out of nothing. So I'm going to put a piece of wire. And if you don't have wire, use a piece of thread. You just put your bead on there. Then we're going to take these little stamens. And I know that daisies probably don't have this kind of center, but in our flower world, we are our own Mother Nature, so we can be what we want it to be. Oh, well, they don't want to stay in there, so we're just going to do this first. So put these on here how we want them. I like the curve up instead of down. That's a total personal preference. All I've done is put the bead on here and folded my wire over. And there's a cute little center. If it's kind of on its side because the kind of bead it is. If you want that, if that you don't like that, you can do it. Hold your bead flat. Make sure you're keeping it flat, and just bring one wire down. And don't fold it in half. So it looks kind of funny like this, but it'll let your bead lay flat. If you can see that. So we're going to put that back in there. Maybe. There. Now my bead is in the center. You can arrange your petals how you want them, curve them as much as you want, however it is that makes you happy with the flowers. Okay, so that's one thing. We could go ahead and let's open this back up. We'll fight those holes again, and we'll fight these again. We could do it this way and have, of course, I think a different flower would probably be better with the stamens, but hey, that's pretty cool. It's kind of a funky flower, so you could do that. Okay, another option you have is to take another piece of wire. Don't need it too long, really. And we're going to put these 3 pieces inside of this, and we're going to fold it again. And smash it down tight. And we're going to take these and put them back on the wire. And we're going to bring it through. And that's going to kind of thread it through and bring them out. So you could make them as long or as short as you wanted. As you can see, there's 6 and they're different lengths. So it's just how it's folded in half. If you wanted them all to be fairly much the same, you could do that. And then you can pin or tape this to the back, glue, however it works best for you. And if you just, like put it down to a pedal, what I would do is I would glue it and then put some tape or something over it to cover it. And you can take the wire on or off, however you want to do it. But it's just a fun way to get a different flower center. Getting a good shadow there from something. So that's just another way to do it. But then again, there's always the plain old simple, that easy to do, add a brad. And in here are some fun brads. Like I said, I just had a wide assortment. I noticed that one of them was a fish. Wouldn't that make a funny center for a flower? So I'm going to pull this out, hopefully, without making a mess. But I kind of like them fun and laying around like that. That's just me. So I'm going to put this one in there and open it up. And there we go. Now it's more like a sunflower with a bigger center in there. And I'm not big on using a lot of flowers, but this one I really like. This one speaks to me because it looks like a sunflower. So that's basically this kit. It's nothing hard or crazy wild to do. It's kind of, do what you want with it. Make it work for you. There's lots of different colors of parts of things in here and lots of ways to use it. I just mostly wanted to make sure that you understood how we used the tulle and the foam. And I think it made for a really nice mat to work with. I'm going to go ahead and stick this in here so I know where it's all at. But I thought it was kind of fun. And, you could vintage up your flowers a little bit if you wanted to. Put a little ink on them. I don't know if there's enough ink on this without putting ink on it. Just barely. Getting a little bit of depth there. You do something like this and go over it, you're going to get just the edges and you will really get some depth and texture in your flowers. So there you go. I hope you enjoy this kit and I hope you make lots of fun things. Thanks for watching.